Welcome back, everybody. Due to the current weather in Canada and the fact that I don't have a proper heater in this garage yet, I'm a little short on spray material for you guys. However, I figured it'd be a good chance to talk about some spray guns. We'll go over the different types, different styles, why painters have so many, and what would be best for you for your application. All right, let's get to it. So let's just start our way over here and we'll work our way over. I'll describe the different guns and what they do exactly here. So these three particular guns are SATA RP guns. Reduced pressure, being a high transfer gun, a lot of fluid lands on the panel. They spray wet, which makes them ideal for sealers, clear coats, and single stages as well. So the first one here, this is my clear gun. That's a SATA 5500 Phaser RP with a 1.3 tip, and these are technically all O pattern guns. SATA recently came out with the I pattern with the 5500s. I do not have any experience with those. However, I've heard they spray more similar to an Iwata. You'll notice all my guns, though, they do have either the Atom or a digital gauge on them. Personally, I hate having a regulator on the bottom, just a little less maneuverability. So this is the way I like to go. So yeah, that's my clear gun. And this guy here, also a SATA 5500 1.3 RP. Meaning it's exactly the same as this gun in the way it operates. And the reason I have two of them is that I wanted one to run color through because Imron, the base coat and single stages I spray at work, they call for a 1.3 tip RP style from SATA. It's the way it's designed to be sprayed. And I didn't want to be running all that color through my clear gun as well. I do like having separate guns. So this gun, it sees those base coats and single stages. And I do run some clear through this on smaller jobs as well. My old 3000 here, so this is same style gun as these, 1.3 RP, but this one's probably 15 years old, I think. Geez, it might be 20 years old now. I bought it used. I've replaced a few parts in it, but it's nearing retirement. It sees a lot of abuse. It was my daily gun. This gun now does everything that this one used to do, so this one's just sort of retired to spraying sealer only. And prior to that, I was spraying sealer and clear coat with it. It was one of my first two guns. These are the first two guns I purchased. This one I bought for sealer and clear, and it did that for a number of years. Did it great, but yeah, just getting a little older. So moving along now, we've got our HVLP guns. These are high volume, low pressure. These are designed to spray base coats, and they spray waterborne base coats great. That's what I use them for primarily. So they're both SATA 5000s. Again, sort of like these two here. One's a phaser, one's not a phaser. Same stuff, different pile, if you will. Again, Atom Dock, digital gauge. This one's a 1.4 tip, this one's a 1.3. I use my 1.3 for solids and wet bed. My 1.4 I use for metallics. However, a 1.3 will run metallics just fine as well. So those ones I use to spray my waterborne base coats. It's nice to be able to grab two guns with different colors in them to get into the booth. I find when I'm spraying RVs and stuff like that at work, it's nice to be able to switch colors quick or have one gun with wet bed in it at all times and then one gun with your color. So moving on here, let's get over to my primer guns. And a lot of people are going to say, well, why do you have two primer guns and why do you spend so much money on primer guns? So I used to have a Princess Auto primer gun. It looked just like this one. Now this is not it, but it was just like this one, but red. With a bigger tip, and as soon as it lasted me like 3 years, and then as soon as I started lending it out, it didn't get cleaned properly, stored properly. It was left with thinner in it. It messed with the seals. Yeah, it went downhill pretty quick. So I bought myself a nice one. If you take care of your guns, they will last a long time. If you lend them out, they will not. So this is my normal primer gun, just for your normal high build primers. It's a SATA 100 BFRP with a 1.8mm tip. And yeah, great primer gun, lays it down smooth, very consistent. It's very accurate with primer. You don't want to be spraying wild everywhere. So great primer gun. This is my SATA 100 BP. And this is a 2.5mm tip. I don't know if my camera's focusing on it, but this thing is a fire hose. It lays down the product. So this one I use to spray slick sand and high build epoxy primers of all things. So slick sand, it's like a sprayable filler essentially. It's great for working on fiberglass, hoods, roofs, things like that. Things we commonly see in the heavy duty industry that need a lot of straightening and a lot of work. You can lay down that slick sand. It gives you a lot of product to block smooth. I also use it for PPG's CRE321, which is a high build sandable epoxy primer. We use it on sandblasted parts, industrial work, and usually we use an airless for that product, which is a whole other conversation. However, for spraying small stuff, this does a fine job. Now, if you guys have seen my previous videos, you know I use both these guns for spraying flake as well. This gun, the 1.8 tip, will spray a medium flake just fine, and then I use the 2.5 for a larger flake. And then on the end here, last but not least, well, kind of least, because it's my smallest gun, is a SATA Mini Jet HVLP with a 1 millimeter tip. This gun I bought because at work we do the occasional blow-ins on the inside of door panels, things like that. And then I also bought it to do Cerakote. It's something I haven't done yet, but it's something I really want to try. Cerakote was a ceramic coating originally designed for firearms, but I see a lot of guys using them on like triple clamp forks for motorcycles, things like that. So I think it'd be cool to try on a few different products. And the big deal wasn't buying the gun, it was buying the other stuff. I've got the sandblaster over there, I've got the oven over here, I've got pretty much everything I need now. I just need to buy some of the product and try it out. Alright, so now that I've gone over the different styles of guns, why I have them, the applications I use them for, let's talk about what you need. If you're a professional watching this video, you're probably thinking, wow, this guy's a nerd. And you know what? You're not wrong. I like talking about this stuff. I like talking about painting. I love what I do. So yeah, if you're a professional, you already know what you need. For DIY guys and apprentices though, guys getting into the trade or considering getting into the trade, this more caters to you. You certainly don't need this many guns off the break, and you don't necessarily need to break the bank to do it. When I first got into the trade, like I said, these were my first two professional guns, my old 3000 and this 5000. I got wicked deals on both of them. I bought them used. A lot of these guns I've purchased used. If you keep your eyes out for good deals on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, Kijiji, whatever, they're out there occasionally, and I find just being in the trade, you'll hear about painters selling guns, or someone knows someone who's upgrading their gun, selling their old one, yada yada, stuff like that. So keep your ears out for that. Getting into the trade again, like I'd probably do it the exact same way. I have my one gun for sealer and clear, this old guy, and I have my one gun for base. And then I did upgrade there, get another gun for base. Our shop at the time had a primer gun, so I didn't have to worry about that too much. But for those of you getting into the trade or DIY guys, don't break the bank on a primer gun. Buy something cheap from Princess Auto or Harbor Freight with a 1.8 to 2 millimeter tip. As long as you keep it clean, it's going to work just fine. Like I said, mine lasted about 3 years until I lent it out to people who didn't really concern themselves with taking care of it, and then it went down the drain. And that brings me kind of on to my last topic here, and that's knockoff guns. For guys in professional setting or getting into a professional setting, just straight up stay away from them. The ability to get parts, cups, reusable cups like we use in the industry, 3M PPS, SATA RPS, the DeVilbiss system, they may or may not fit those knockoff guns, and ultimately you need a quality gun for a consistent finish in an everyday setting. Not saying you can't get a consistent or a good finish off of a cheaper gun. However, when you're working in the trade, invest in your tools. They're going to last. Like I said, this gun I think is almost 20 years old and it still runs well. For DIY guys though, if I were down south of the border in the US, I would 100% buy some of those Black Widows from Harbor Freight. The earlier style ones, they were direct knockoffs. I'm pretty sure they're knockoff of the SATA 5000, if not the 5000, the 4000. Same style control, same style air caps. They've got the HTE, which is the RP version. They've got the HVLPs. Like those, if I were down south and a DIY guy, I'd 100% pick them up. I've seen so many good reviews on them. A lot of people talking good stuff about them. But yeah, professional, stick with the real ones, parts availability, yada yada. And I think that covers everything I wanted to talk about in this video, guys. If I missed anything though, you know I like talking about it. Be sure to shoot me a question down in the comments there. If you guys like this video today, please be sure to like and subscribe. I'm sure I'll be able to get some painting content up somewhat soon. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.